My spirit shall prevail on my enemies who are prepared to take away my life at this stage. Because I did it for my family and for my nation, but not knowing that I could not help my nation. Robbery, punishable under
Good evening, Darklings. Today, we are traveling into the shadows of Nigeria's most dangerous decade, the 1980s, into a time when fear roamed Benin City freely, a time when one man's name, a myth, a nightmare, reigned terror and held an entire city hostage. His name? Lawrence Anini. Strap in, my darklings, as I tell you the rise, the reign, and the brutal fall of the law, Nigeria's most feared bandit king. I'm your host, Amara, and welcome to Amara in the Dark. Lawrence Anini was born in 1956 in a small village close to Ovian, northeast of Edo State. Like most children, he was running in the dusty roads bare feet. He played with improvised toys and learned quickly that survival is a skill and not a gift. As he grew, so did his hunger. But it wasn't for food or, any of those things. It was for power. And so when Anini turned into his teenage years, he left for Benin City, the heartbeat of the Midwest. And slowly, he fell into the underbelly of street life. In the early 1980s, Benin City was known for illegal trades such as car rackets, small-time armed robberies, highway extortion. And Anini, he wasn't just at the center of it all, he dominated it. At first, Anini started off as a taxi driver. And then slowly he migrated into a man that smuggled stolen goods, and then he became a middleman, and finally a boss. And in the street life, he was named the law because whatever he says was final and respected. Every king needs his soldiers, and Anini had a gang of men ready to breathe down violence on any victim that they come in contact with. His crew members were Monday Osu. He was known as the man that particularly killed people during raids. There was Henry Epowan, also known as Flying Hero. He was responsible for impossible escapes during operations. We also have Philip Dede, John Eweke, Kingsley Eweke, Ishola, Vitali Sagbo. And with his crew, Anini reigned terror on Benin City. In fact, he reigned terror all around the old Benin region, known as Sapele, Warri, Ondo, Benin City. But their biggest weapon wasn't just guns, it was terror. Between 1985 and 1986, Anini and his gang turned the old Benin region into a war zone. Banks were being raided in broad daylight. Police vehicles were being riddled with bullets. And robberies were usually executed with precision, military precision. Anini wasn't just robbing banks. He was humiliating the police force. Most times after an operation, he would mockingly leave letters to the police, urging them, daring them to catch him if they can. Fear wasn't just growing in darkness, it was also growing in silence. And the silence of the police force was one that was way too suspicious. People started to ask questions. Why was Anini always one step ahead? Why did raids fail? Why were officers disappearing? The answer to that will come very much later, as it is found that a police officer, DSP George Iyamu, was feeding Anini intel the whole time. A man that was sworn to protect the citizens had now turned around to work with our killers. By late 1986, Anini and his gang were now known as a national crisis. Banks were bleeding. The old Benin region was a war zone, and police officers were dying every day. By now, military governor in charge, Ibrahim Babangida, asked the Inspector General of Police one question that sent all of them into a spiral. He said, "My friend, where is Anini?" This question ignited the most intense manhunt that Nigeria would ever witness. Immediately, officers were dispersed to bus parks for information. Informants were squeezed. There was a serious crackdown on the empire of the bandit king. And slowly, that empire began to crack. Every king has a weakness. For Anini, it wasn't money, it wasn't power, it was women. Unknowingly to one of his girlfriends, she had led the police straight to his house. The police had been tailing her for days, watching her every turn, her every whisper, everything that she did. And so when she walked into the house on number 26 Oyemekun Road, Benin City, the police were sure that this was where Anini was. They needed no more confirmation. They moved in. And now to just kind of give like a point of view from one of the people that lived in the community as Anini at that time when they arrested him, had a story to tell us. And he said that at the time, the military government knew that Anini was in that vicinity. But because there was no precision in their decision, they had to take a while to study him, study the people that come into the house. But while doing this, they were terrorizing the neighborhood, as the military would usually hit young boys just to make them feel uncomfortable. No one really knew why this was happening, but I guess it was because they probably thought that the community was harboring a criminal. I move on. The operation was led by Superintendent Kayode Uwanreruru. In the early hours of the morning, guns were cocked. They barged into the house that had Anini. Anini was unaware of the fate that awaited him as he laid inside sleeping. But the moment he found out, he jumped up. And then one of the policemen asked him, "My friend, are you Anini?" At first, probably out of fear, he lied and said Anini was inside sleeping and tried to run. But he was quickly shot in the leg, and that destabilized him. And so they asked him again, "My friend, are you Anini?" I think by now Anini had lost all hopes, because he said, and I quote, "My brother, I no feel like for you. Na me be Anini." And at that moment, Anini started to put the blame on people. He said he never really killed anyone. It was mostly Monday Osumbo that did most of the killing. He also said the reason why he was attacking the policemen was because they killed his father and his brother. When the police searched the home where they found him, they found 2 loaded pistols, live ammunitions, disguises, and also charms just lying around the place. Also, they found some stolen items from their former operations. Anini was bleeding profusely. And so the policemen decided to take him to a hospital where he would be treated. And while Anini was at the hospital, he was handcuffed, awaiting trial. With his leg torn and sedatives wearing off, Anini began to talk. And let me tell you, the things that he said shook Nigeria to the core. He said that he worked with policemen. The most shocking of all was DSP George Iyamu, a man well respected by his colleagues, even almost feared, had been working hand in hand with a criminal. So you see, guys, this wasn't just a gang running wild. This was a system that was rotting from inside. While this was happening, the next day, Nigeria wakes up to a news: Anini captured alive. His arrest had a lot of controversy, as a lot of human rights organizations and the Vanguard newspaper gave their own thoughts on how that arrest went. They said it was a bit inhumane and he could have been captured without being shot. The human rights activists still believe that no matter how bad a criminal would be, they still have the right to certain things. His trial was held in the Robbery and Firearms Tribunal, Benin City. Soldiers were everywhere. Armored tanks were everywhere. The military government even had snipers positioned at the roof, ready to fire. Anini once again was wheeled in, because by now, the gunshot wound was very bad for his leg. His leg had to be amputated. Usually, he comes in a stretcher during his trials, or he's wheeled in on a wheelchair during his trials. He was standing trial with his gang members, Kingsley Eweke, Monday Osumbo, Harry Ekponwa, and the rest of them. And altogether, they confessed to killing police officers, orchestrating robberies, and particularly just sabotaging police raids with the help of police officers that worked for them. He said that they went after police officers because they wanted to humiliate the Nigerian government and to show that they were untouchable. But the show was over. In early 1987, a verdict was passed: death by firing squad. And so on March 29, 1987, Anini and his gang were brought to Babich, Lagos State. Anini could barely walk. He was carried in as usual. They were all tied up to pillars, and they were asked to say their last prayers. And then, in the distance, you can hear a commander: ready, aim. And just like that, that was the end of the bandit king of Benin City, mostly known as the Law. So this is the story of Anini. Anini's story shows us that when fear and poverty mix with corruption, they produce monsters. Anini thought he was untouchable. He thought the police could never catch him. Well, there's always a day for a thief. And there you have it, my darklings. That is the story of Anini. If you liked our story for today, you do know what to do. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get more of wonderful stories like this. My darklings, this is the end for us. Compliments of the season. I have been your host, Amara Audu. Thank you so much for stepping into the dark with me. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay curious, and remember, there's always something creeping in the dark.